almost 10 years ago, but the memory still felt fresh, vivid even. I was working in the sporting goods section of the big blue box store, where rules around alcohol, tobacco, and firearms were as strict as they were essential. Federal regulations governed everything about selling age-restricted or prohibited items, especially firearms. Anyone wanting to purchase a firearm needed to fill out a form and undergo a background check. Whether they could take the firearm home the same day depended entirely on the results. One quiet evening, a sketchy-looking man approached me, asking to buy a single-shot children's rifle. He claimed it was for taking his kid out to learn how to shoot. Fine, I wasn't there to judge. I started the computerized form, filled out my section, and handed it over for him to complete. Once he finished, I sent the information to NICS, not to be confused with Naval Crime Investigation Service. Almost immediately, the background check came back delayed, something that rarely happened. I explained to the man that the sale could not proceed until NICS gave a final proceed or deny. This usually took less than a week. He was visibly upset, but there was no room for compromise. I could not and would not sell the firearm without approval. He left, grumbling, and I moved on. By the way, if you're enjoying this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how these situations should be handled, or if you've ever experienced something similar. A couple of hours later, a woman walked into the store. She seemed pleasant enough and asked for the same gun. She said it was a gift for her grandson. I thought nothing of it, until I saw her ID. She shared the same last name and address as the man from earlier. Coincidence? Unlikely. My suspicions were confirmed when she handed over her concealed carry license, typically a streamlined way to verify eligibility. But something felt off. At this point, let's pause. If you've never heard of a straw purchase, let me break it down. A straw purchase is when someone buys a firearm for another person, often someone who legally cannot own one. It's a serious federal crime, punishable by up to 10 years in prison and fines of up to $10,000. Both the buyer and the seller can face severe consequences, and the store risks losing its license to sell firearms altogether. I informed my manager immediately. He instructed me to proceed with the paperwork, but to deny the sale, given the strong suspicion of a straw purchase. I completed the necessary steps, made copies of her IDs, and then informed her, politely but firmly, that we could not sell her the firearm. That's when she lost it. She demanded to speak to my manager, who backed me up without hesitation. He reiterated that neither she nor her son would be allowed to purchase firearms or ammunition from our store, given their attempt to circumvent federal laws. I even had to call nearby stores to warn them about the situation. I never learned the full story or what happened to the man and his mother. But in the end, I found comfort in the fact that I had followed the law and potentially prevented a firearm from falling into the wrong hands.